Good evening. I'm Rick Coffman, Superintendent of Ritchie County Schools. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you this evening. Recently, in the last year and a half, when I've had the privilege to be superintendent and come back and work again in Ritchie County, it's been very positive. However, several times, almost every week or two, good people come up and say, Rick, why don't you put something out there, give us some more information, answer some questions because we feel like there's been some misinformation and some half-truths, or however you want to say it. And so that's the purpose of meeting with you today in this post, is to talk about the Ritchie County school system, what's happened, what's going to happen, what's going on now, and really just to answer some questions. All right. I think if I had to sum up, the purpose of this in just a few words, it would be, we need to keep our focus on the children and what's best for them, as far as academic safety and in all aspects. Also, and no one likes this, but what's kind of been driving the ship in Ritchie County and in most of West Virginia, unfortunately, is it's costing a little more to run the school system in every county, including Ritchie, as time goes on. But many counties, in fact, most counties, for various reasons, are receiving less money. So increased cost to run the school system, receiving less money. So anyone would know, if we keep our sanity, that you can't keep doing the same thing, because eventually the train's going to come off the track. If you've got more costs, less money, it's got to be addressed. Something has to change. We all like small schools. Many of us are products of small schools. The problem is, for 1,451 or 2 students, we can't afford to keep 6 schools open. So, just like I can't afford to operate and maintain 4 cars. It's the same thing. So, what do we do that won't hurt the students, that will protect the taxpayers and everyone's interest in Ritchie County? Well, we already have done some of those things. One of them, not because we wanted to, we had to close Ellenborough School. It was the smallest school with the least amount of students, also the oldest school. And if you look at the location of our 4 elementary schools, we really have 3 in a 5-mile radius. That's nice, but and we're all about community in Ritchie, like anywhere, and we do all we can to preserve community. But again, the world that we live in now, with less money coming in, let's address that less money right now. Since there's less students in West Virginia and it declines each and every year, I think we've lost about 300 since 2001. Less people are being born than are dying in our state. And so enrollment is declining in almost every county. So the state is funded by student enrollment. So since we have less students almost each year, I think we gained just a few this year, but if you look at the past 20 or 30 years, almost all but 2 or 3 years, we've lost population like everyone else in the state. So since student funding is determined by student numbers, we have less money for the state in which to operate the school system. Also, if you look at tax revenue collection in Ritchie County during this time period, tax revenue has decreased for most of that. Now, the good news is, because oil and gas has spiked here recently, and hopefully that continues, we have a little bit more tax revenue than what we've had the past, 5 or 6 years. That's good news. But you need to understand that too. Because of court cases, and we're not saying that this is bad, because of court cases with the state tax department, we've had to give some of that money back. Last year, we had to give back $600,000. So we still gained some, but we had to give some of it back. Another large company has also won in suit with the state tax department, so we're going to also have to give some back this year. Again, I'm mentioning that because you need to understand the full picture. So we've covered less student enrollment. We've also covered tax revenue. The other thing is it costs money to keep all these schools open, which I've already mentioned. And, it would be nice to have 4 elementary schools and keep them all open, but we just can't. So, in order to address that, we closed Ellenborough. Next fall, it will not be open. We've also moved the 5th grade, to the middle school, which is also a good thing. Unless you're at Smithville, because they've got quite a facility out there. In fact, we just spent another $100,000 as a county, and the SBA just spent another $200,000 to give them a new sewage system, which we're happy about. We've added some personnel and some programs, but all of our county needs a good facility, and they need the best academics and the best safety that they can get. And that's another reason why, we're talking here today.